All right, joining us now is former FBI agent and Navy SEAL Jonathan Gilliam. Thanks so much for coming on, and thank you for your service. I want to start with this breaking news about the former president wants to go back to Butler, Pennsylvania. The first question I ask, how can we be sure he will be safe? The New York Post was reporting this week that they're going to try to cancel, or the Trump campaign is going to be trying to canceling outdoor events, try to do things more indoors. So assuming this is an outdoor event, maybe at the same area or near the same area, how do they protect him?
Well, I think it's pretty easy. You saw I mean, it's going to be up to the Secret Service to protect them. That's obvious. I would recommend they have an indoor event. But you see that the perimeter, when you pan out, it's not like a metropolitan area. There's not that many buildings to secure. And when you panned out and you showed that the perimeter that the Secret Service actually had, you have to remember that 400 and whatever feet it was, 435 feet, I think you said, and you showed that short distance. That distance isn't even as far as the perimeter. The perimeter is actually closer than that building because people were filming from that area. So he could be secured. But the Secret Service has to do their job, and that's where my fear comes in, because it really doesn't matter if we're trying to figure out what happened. It doesn't really matter what the local police department says. It is the Secret Service job to go in and do an advance and ensure that all those things are looked at and a proper threat assessment is done. That just was not done.
Well, and that's what's frustrating. So Director Kimberly Cheadle, when she testified earlier on this week, there's one thing to say, she didn't have all the information, it's an ongoing investigation. She said it's the Secret Service's responsibility, but we're seeing this crosstalk. We're seeing the finger the finger pointing. We still don't have all the answers nearly 2 weeks out from the shooting. Is that frustrating to you? Is that common? Is that something we should expect in an investigation like this?
Well, it's not common. And the fact that she's the director and she didn't have the answers, if she would have said, I have those answers, but I can't tell you because it's an ongoing investigation, that's problematic. And then when the FBI director comes out and nonchalantly, that was the most calm brief he's ever given, just nonchalantly throws out a few numbers here and there. Let me say one thing about this video right here, though, because I really want to point this out. Donald Trump is speaking right there, and that sniper is in his scope, and then he comes off the scope, which means he was aware that something was happening over there, but yet nobody pulled Trump off the stage. How could that be? There was obviously no communication between local law enforcement and the Secret Service, but at that point, the sniper knew that somebody was on that roof, and they still didn't pull the former president, off that stage.
Yeah.
So these are real breakdowns in the Secret Service that is catastrophic.
And hopefully one of these many investigations will shed some light into it. I wanted to ask you before I let you go about this back and forth, whether it was a bullet or shrapnel that hit the former president's ear. Look, you asked me personally, I don't think it matters. I think this was an attempt on his life, whichever way you want to shake it. Someone took a shot at him. But what's your assessment? Because I think it does go more to whether or not the FBI director is credible.
And politically motivated. You know, that's a really bad part in law enforcement and the judicial system and justice, period. I think, I mean, based on what I saw, that he got shot because there was no shrapnel. The monitors were not hit. There was nothing that shrapnel could come from. So I'm going to assume that he got shot. But here's the thing, is that somebody who was directly behind him got killed and two other people got wounded. And we know that the shooter was shooting there. So I found that irresponsible for the FBI director to come on and say that, because it downplays the whole situation. And that, to me, is really bad, because ultimately, when you look at this, that fatal funnel that shooter used was created by the Secret Service, not that individual.
Look, I think the counter argument to that would be he wasn't definitive about what it was and wasn't, and he wanted to be careful that what he says isn't contradicted by a later report. But we shall see what comes out. Again, the FBI is looking.
He shouldn't have said anything then. That's the way these things work.
He could have, but I think he was very adamant to try to share as much information he could, especially after what happened to Director Kim Cheadle.
Yeah.
But Jonathan Gilliam, thanks so much for coming on. And again, thank you for your service.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.